low tech, gravel or road, yoga Star Wars, all this and more in this week's Ask GC Anything. First off the start ramp is this question from Vichka Valkama. Thanks for getting in touch. Now Vichka asks, what would your advice be if I'd like to feel fitter with every ride with as little technology and gadgets as possible? Now this is a really refreshing question because without doubt our sport has moved on tremendously in relation to our understanding of physiology and therefore training, but also there's been a massive advancement in leaps and bounds from a technological perspective. So the advancement of heart rate monitors, GPS head units, and latterly power meters. But I think it's really important from time to time, I do it myself, to go out on your bike and essentially strip things back down to basics. Almost like an acoustic session, MTV unplugged, but on the bike. Go out and ride completely on feel, don't plan a route, and leave all of your gadgets and gizmos behind, or even just turn off your power meter. I think you'll find it liberating. You can certainly train as hard or as easy as you want. And do you know what? It'll even improve your morale, or it could even be epic. And Simon, the pioneers didn't use computers, mate. I always carry a map. Don't worry about that. Right, where are we? We need to camp for tonight.
Ipswich. No, not in Ipswich, mate. Oh yeah, you're getting closer, mate.
Swindon.
We're near Swindon.
Yeah, that was pretty epic to say the very least. Now next up we've got this question from OVN1211 or Oven1211. Hashtag talkback. What is the best beginner bike? Cyclocross, gravel or a road bike? Now I've been riding for a fair old while, as many of you will know, and I must admit, had I been starting out in the sport now without a wealth of cycling experience, I must admit the sheer breadth and choice of sorts of bikes available is quite frankly bewildering. So my advice would be, as a first step, is to try and identify the sort of riding that you're going to be doing. So are you going to go off-road? Are you going to primarily go on paths or gravel trails? Or is it going to be on the road? Now once you've done that, that will help you make the choice far easier. Now in relation to your question about a cyclocross bike, my advice would be, if you're going to ride cyclocross, get a cyclocross bike. If not, maybe consider a gravel bike or a road bike. Now the difference between a gravel and a road bike is far more nuanced and a little bit more difficult to describe, but we try and do that in this video here, so I hope it helps.
If you've got the feeling that I'm a little bit sceptical about all road bikes, then you'd be right. So I'm going to tackle Si's so-called epic ride on my road bike, whilst Matt and Si are going to ride their new Ridley X Trails. They're kind of like road bikes, but with clearance for wider tyres, a bit more stability, practicality, and SRAM 1x drivetrains for reliability.
You've guessed it, it's time now for the rapid fire round. First up we have this from Irvin Gillett on Twitter. I'm 12 years old and set a goal this year to do 1,000 miles, and I've already done 250 miles. Am I overtraining? I don't think 250 miles in around a month is overtraining, but my advice to you, Irvin, I think 1,000 miles in a year is perfectly achievable for somebody of your age. Just make sure you get plenty of rest, but primarily just enjoy riding your bike. Next up, this is from, well, I won't say the name because go straight into it. Hey GCN, please just call me Ty. Thanks very much, because I know my name is hard to pronounce. I'm commenting all the way from the Caribbean island of Trinidad and would like to know, do pros train and race on the same bikes, or do they get new ones every race? And can I train on my carbon bike and still race on it? Well, to answer your last part of your question, yes, you can of course race and train on your carbon bike. If you've got a spare pair of wheels, always a good idea to ride on training wheels, save your best wheels for the race. I used to train a race on both my bikes, but the pros, yeah, they do have a little bit more of a luxury depending on the size of the team, but most top riders will have a race bike and a training specific bike as well. Next up we have this from Marky Mint, cracking name. Thank you for asking my question. Could Dan, Matt, Simon and Tom possibly answer as well? What is their pre-race ritual? Well, my pre-race ritual, can't obviously speak for Tom and Si, is to make sure, without any question, I always put my right sock on first, then my left sock, then my right shoe, and then my left shoe. And always, always, always add a cup of coffee as well. That's about it. Next up is this from Matthew Schreiner. I remember as a young professional living and training in Boulder, Colorado. Chris Carter from Motorola and a teammate passed me on a small climb coming out of Estes Park. At 21 years of age, I realized I had a lot of work ahead of me to get to their level. I'm now a chocolatier in Chicago. I just like that because it's a little story. That's it, no question, just a story. Right there, little nugget. Finally, this from Phil Whitlam. Poor Matt. He looks like he's bathed and ready for bed. This is under yoga video. His nanny, yoga teacher, says, have you been a good little boy, Matt? If you've been really good, you can play with Chewbacca. Great show, guys. Like the format. Keep them coming. Right then, back to normal speed, and this question from Yuri Janssen in the comments section. Hi guys, I'm really jealous to see you enjoying great rides in different countries. Now I've only used my car with bikes on the back to explore countries by bike. Can you please give me some tips on how to transport your bike and luggage when travelling by plane? Well, thanks for getting in touch, Yuri. You're right, it really is an absolute privilege, and I think I would be fair to say that I'm speaking for all of us presenters here. It's an absolute privilege to get to visit the countries that we do, and it's certainly something that none of us take for granted. And the same goes for making sure that we keep our bikes, our wonderful bikes, in tip-top condition whenever we travel abroad. Now, I've got a bit of a routine that used to take me about 45 minutes. Now, I've now got that down to between 10 and 15 minutes. But if it's something that you've never ever done before, there is quite a lot to remember. So hopefully this video will set you on your way and will help you.
The length of your trip and the distance you intend to ride will dictate just how much you'll need. Your bike travels in the hold of the plane and so needs protecting by either a bike bag or box. You could even use a cardboard box, and we have videos to show you how to pack your bike using all three options, so go check them out.
Now finally on this week's Ask GCN Anything, we have this question from MA. I'm going to call them Ma for ease. Hashtag talkback. If I'm looking to put wider tyres on my bike but struggling for space on the rear, is it okay to put a wider tyre on the front for the extra comfort? Or is there an unwritten rule against this? And what a fantastic question. Now firstly, I'm unaware of any unwritten rule in relation to this, although I'm sure some of you on the comments section might actually beg to differ. But I'm going to split this question into two halves. Firstly, this is something that I've actually done. It's about 5 or 6 years ago, and there was a particularly difficult road race in the UK called the Melton Cycle Classic, which had sections of off-road and tracks. We even went through a field, and the clearance on my bike was a little bit close. Couldn't get a 25 in the back, so I had a 23 in the back and a 25 on the front, which works an absolute treat. But before setting the bike up like that, I'd actually read that Tom Bonan in Paris-Roubaix had done something similar to add comfort. Now I think he had a 28 in the front and a 25 in the back. So to be perfectly honest with you, if it's good enough for Tom Bonan, it should be good enough for you. So go ahead. Now for a little bit more in relation to rims and tyre width, check out this video from Simon. It's very, very interesting.
Now, one of the most intriguing but also significant benefits is actually that wider tyres generate less rolling resistance. Now, it's hard to know why we've only really just cottoned on to this fact, given that rolling resistance data has actually been out there for quite some time.
Well, that just about brings this week's Ask GCN Anything to a close. Thanks again for all of your questions, and please do keep them coming using the hashtag talkback, either in the comment section down below or on social media. Now, so you don't miss another Global Cycling Network video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free. You can do that by clicking on the globe. Now, for how to complete an FTP test with Johnny Bevan, click just up here. And for our GCN versus John Degenkolb challenge, click just down here. I wonder who wins.